For millennia, the Western Abenaki people have loved and cared for this land, having called it home. We now have the privilege of gathering here as a religious community, so let us do so honoring this legacy of love and stewardship. Good morning. Welcome to the mystery. I'm Sarah Franklin, your worship associate this morning. My pronouns are she, her, hers. On behalf of the entire worship team, I am very glad to welcome you, both those of you who are here in the sanctuary and those of you who are watching the live stream. We appreciate your presence and fellowship. For over 155 years, this church has been a sanctuary for those seeking spiritual sustenance as well as peace and justice in the wider world. We invite you to continue with us today on that path. Please know that there are hearing assist devices on the back table at the rear of the sanctuary for anyone who would find them helpful. And do we have mystery ribbons? I'm not seeing mystery ribbons. Does any? Oh, look, there are mystery ribbons. So on your way into the service today, you had a chance to choose a mystery ribbon. And we invite you to use those ribbons as part of today's service. First, you might consider your ribbon an extension of your spirit during the singing of the hymns. Make it dance or move in celebration as we make music together. Second, after the service, please join us at the coffee hour and introduce yourself to someone you don't know. Perhaps someone holding the same color ribbon as you hold. Third, take your ribbon home with you and use it as a creative spark. Hang an ornament. Adorn your coffee cup. Connect two surprising items to one another. Or just enjoy using it as a bookmark. It's always a pleasure to have newcomers and guests join us for worship. If this is your first or second time coming to this sanctuary, we would love it if you would stand or just wave so we can offer you a special welcome. Do we have guests or visitors today? We are glad that you are here. And you are invited to attend coffee hour after the service, as is everyone. Newcomers are invited to fill out a welcome form available at the hospitality table during coffee hour so that we can connect with you more fully. And of course, we hope to see you at coffee hour. The lay pastoral care person available today after the service is Victoria Batten. Victoria is here. Thank you. If you have a personal concern, challenge, or loss that calls for the support and the prayers of our spiritual community, you can look for Victoria in the sanctuary after the service today to share more deeply. Now, can we all join in the welcoming by taking a few moments to turn to our neighbors in nearby pews to share a few words of greeting? Thank you. Thank you. I don't usually think of Unitarians as a rowdy bunch, but you show real potential. I just want you to know how proud I am of this moment. So let's take a deep breath now and enjoy the feeling of having connected. And make sure that our cell phones are turned off, silenced, and enter more deeply into our time of worship with the prelude. Let us now stand and be ready to sing our opening hymn, which is Opening Words. We'll be singing later. Hold that thought.
Please join me in responsive reading number 20 in Lifting Our Voices. A planet is born, a spark ignites, something completely new comes into being. A waterfall descends, a rainbow arcs through the sky, the ocean opens to an endless horizon. The stars pierce our hearts, peace envelops us, we are blessed. In the midst of pain, we find our way to hope and restoration. In the midst of fear, we do what is right and speak our truth in faith. In our aloneness, we see someone in greater need and offer ourselves to them. We gather in community, in relationship, in friendship, and cherish each other.
And now we will be singing our opening hymn, number 112 in your hymnal. That's number 112. Let us now light our chalice and welcome Lotus, who is going to help us do that this morning. The chalice is the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith. We invite those of you at home to light a chalice of your own. We light this flame, an enduring symbol of our collective commitment to lead with truth and compassion. Please join me in saying these words of affirmation found in your order of service. Thank you, Lotus. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve human need, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant. This is the first Sunday in Advent, as some of you may be aware, and we do have an Advent wreath over here, and Pat Karstensen is going to help us to light the first candle today. The symbolism of the Advent wreath is very ancient and can be found in communities in Europe even before the emergence of Christianity. There is evidence that the Germanic peoples used wreaths with lit candles during the cold and dark December days as a sign of hope for the warm, sunlit days of spring. During winter in Scandinavia, lighted candles were placed around a wheel and prayers were offered to the God of light to turn the wheel of the earth back towards the sun, to lengthen the days and restore warmth. From its most ancient origins, Advent has been a time of expectation and preparation. As Unitarian Universalists, Advent asks, what are we waiting for and preparing for in our own lives and in the life of our world? So we have an Advent wreath here, and we have lit the first candle. Each of the 4 candles we will light during Advent symbolizes a different virtue: hope, peace, joy, and love. We have begun the Advent season by lighting the first candle, symbolizing hope. And this is the time when children among us may part for their classes, I think. And if we have children in the sanctuary who are, is that right, Sally?
Yeah, right behind.
Okay. I'll leave it to Sally.
Hi, I'm Sally Armstrong, the Interim Director of Spiritual Exploration. I finally got the title down. So I would like to invite any children, if this is your first time, please join us. If you've been coming for a long, long time, please join us. And while the adults sing to us, we will exit this way. For those of you who are new, or those of you who need a reminder, children younger, I think it's 3rd grade below, you need to pick them up at 10 after. So thank you very much. We'll see you later. Bye-bye. Well, come on.
joy to be part of an active congregation, and this one is all of that. There's lots going on, as these announcements show. There are many, and they all are ways for you to become more engaged with this community. This afternoon, you are invited to the live stream watch party of the ordination of Vertus LeVar Robinson on December 3rd, today at 3 p.m. It's a multi-platform service hosted by the congregations of the Unitarian Church of Montpelier, First Universalist Church of Rochester, and First Unitarian Church of Rochester. A reception in our vestry will follow our watch party, and we hope many of you can come. Also, we'd like to announce the return of the carol sing, which will be great news for many people. It will happen on Saturday, December the 9th at 4 p.m. here in our sanctuary. UCM, Bethany, and Christ Church will be joining forces with other singers to present the first Montpelier carol sing since 2019. COVID did do a lot to dent our collective lives, didn't it? But come and listen to beautiful seasonal music and join in a big community sing-along of holiday carols. Donations will help our neighbors in need, and they are welcome. Okay, and now for news that many have been waiting for. John and Janet want to thank all who contributed to the success of the 2023 holiday fair. From those who saved or painted the gazebo, to those who boraxed and washed the aprons, to those who addressed the many details to help in creating a grand environment for the holiday fair to raise. And this was last night, $7,950 and counting. And this... It gets better. That was last night. This morning, the total is $8,117. And if you want to help boost that number, you can join us following the service in the vestry, where your sales force will be offering the last of the special gifts that are on the tables. It's a wonderful time to shop for your family and for your friends. I know my granddaughter has her birthday on Monday, and it's always so good to be able to shop the sale right before her birthday. So we hope to see you at the sale afterwards. There are many more announcements, as you know, in your e-news, so don't miss. Oh, bargains galore. I'm so glad you mentioned that, yes. So cut rate prices deals may be had. So do join us. Okay, now the offering. Generosity is a spiritual practice central to the well-being of our church community. With our collective resources, our free church gratefully supports the values of this congregation. Each month, the UCM Community Pouch Program shares part of our collection with a church fund or community organization, and this month's Community Pouch recipient is CVRAN, the Central Vermont Refugee Action Network. As you know, many members of our congregation are very active in CVRAN. It welcomes and supports refugees, asylum seekers, and migrant workers in central Vermont. Half of our cash offerings go to our pouch recipient. The other half directly support the mission and ministry of our congregation. If you wish to designate your entire offering to the community pouch, please indicate that in the memo line of your check or with a note attached to your cash. Checks go to the church unless designated otherwise. The green velvet offering pouches have already been found by most of you. They are to the left of each pew with the hymnals. We're grateful for each and every one of your gifts, whether made in person, mailed, sent from your bank, or automatically charged to a credit card. One by one, your offerings, like our choir's offerings, help us to build a better world. And I believe that our choir has an offering. Is that right?
The choir is going to support the congregation in singing 1059 in the teal hymnal. Eliza will play it through one time, and then we will sing it through 3 times.
In our community of care and belonging, we hold one another with love in times of joy and times of sorrow. In that spirit, twice a month, we share in the lighting of candles of joy and concern. I would like to begin our spoken joys and concerns today by lighting 3 candles. These candles are for the young Palestinian men who visited in Burlington during their Thanksgiving break from college. Far away from the war in Gaza, Hisham Arwatani, Kinan Abdallah Hamid, and Tahsin Ali Ahmad, all aged 20, enjoyed their brief Thanksgiving vacation in Vermont, celebrating not just the holiday, but a pair of family birthdays. Out for a walk on Saturday after the party, they were approached by a man who, without saying a word, suddenly shot them, leaving them seriously injured. We are all too familiar with the violence of stories like this one, but the horror of such casual cruelty shatters us anew as it takes place here in our own Green Mountains. It has been good to hear of the vigils being held around Vermont, especially in Burlington and around our state, in response to these hateful facts. Let us pray that this terrible event has called into being the resolve that will help us make the changes to our laws, which we know must be made. Thank you. Now, during our candle lighting time, you may wish to come forward and to share a special joy or a milestone so that we can celebrate with you. Perhaps an addition to your family, a special birthday, or anything you have found worthy of celebration. You may also wish to share a personal concern, challenge, or a loss that calls for our love, support, and prayers as a spiritual community. When you come forward, please tell us your name and briefly share in a sentence or two the joy or the concern that is on your heart before lighting the candle. You may also come forward and light a candle in silence if you wish. Just a reminder, this service is being live streamed, so anything shared here in the room will also be shared with our live stream viewers. Before we post the video recording in our service archive, this portion of the service will be removed. And if you're joining worship on the live stream, you are welcome to share joys and concerns in the chat. One of the greatest mysteries of this life is the mystery of human connection. We've certainly heard about it in our shares this morning, our joys and concerns. Some encounters are brief but profound, like the two I wrote about in this poem. In the morning, I met 3-year-old Ava in the UCM fireplace room. In the afternoon, I encountered 85-year-old Johavid in a cybercast of hostage release. Both encounters impressed and inspired me, and here is the poem that tells their stories. Ava at 3. This autumn I met Ava, who was playing barn in the fireplace room while her mother shopped the church the church rummage sale. Mortgage on my mind. I watched as Ava carefully removed animals and dolls from a basket they shared, inspected each, then created families of pigs, cows, sheep, and farmers. The animals came in cartoonish plastic sets, but the human dolls were a complex assortment that had been accumulated over time, different materials, shapes, and sizes. I joined her on the carpet as Ava began to build her human family by declaring a smallish female the mama. But the cowboy-hatted farmer I suggested for Papa, she deemed a brother, who then climbed the ladder to the haymow and fed the rooster. She was sure that the tall yarn-haired doll in jeans was the sister, and was elated to find the family's plastic dog so cute she needed to go share it with her mother. While she was gone, I found a flat wooden cat and 3 dinosaurs in the bottom of the basket. When she came back, Ava warned me to be very careful with the dinosaurs. They might bite. She explained that they didn't bite each other because They lived in the basket together so long that they know each other very well, and that's why. She arranged them in a line, heading toward two little wooden trees she had found in the same basket, and advised me to put very far away from the barn because things look smaller when they're farther away. Ava's mother, Misty, joined us and sat quietly a while, watching, listening, smiling. But soon they had to leave for the farmer's market. I hugged Misty. She scooped up Ava. Ava smiled and waved. Home again, I turned on the news to find that Hamas had just released 2 more hostages, both elderly Israeli women. Hamas's video footage of Yocheved Lifshitz, 85, brought the world a parable. Free at last, she nonetheless turned back to shake her captive's hand, simply saying, Shalom. More of her story emerged in ensuing news programs. We learned that Yocheved had long been a link between Gazans who needed medical treatment unavailable in Gaza and hospitals in Israel which could provide it. We also learned that Yocheved's husband remained a hostage there in the spider web of Gaza's tunnels. Eyes shining, an arm around Yocheved's shoulders, her handsome grandson spoke to the newscasters proudly of her courage and endurance. Yocheved spoke quietly, respectfully of her guards who fed prisoners the same food they ate. May the deep mystery of human connection continue to be a gift in our daily lives to enrich, instruct, and encourage us. And now, let us enter into a time of quiet meditation. help us to think about the mystery of movement.
Okay, good morning. So as Sarah mentioned, I'm going to invite us to drop into the body. And this will be a guided reflection and an exploration of mystery, right? What is to come? What can we make together? And how can this practice of not knowing what we're about to do help us be ready for the unknown? So you can join me either standing or seated, or we can change to standing later in the activity. For now, let the top lids drop to meet your bottom lids. Put a hand on your heart and a hand on your belly. Notice your breath. Notice the cool air lighting on any exposed skin. Notice the soundscape that we have. It might be quiet, but there are sounds. Breath shifts, squeaks of where we're sitting. Notice where your weight is. Notice your feet and how they are planted into the floor, into the earth. Notice your spine sitting atop your tailbone. Invite your spine to get a little longer and expand. So the top of the head, the crown of the head reaches up toward the sky. We're going to invite our sixth sense, which is proprioception, a fancy word for knowing where our bodies are in space. So when we're at the grocery store, we do our little dance, and we all sort of are able to do our groceries and move about the world, knowing where we are in space. Making room for each other, having empathy for each other, and connecting using movement as our primary language as we move about the world and navigate not knowing everything. So you're sitting and you're breathing, letting air come into the lungs and then letting air flow out. This meter and this rhythm, our pulse, our internal rhythm, this music that we have. And what if our bodies, so we're going to let our bodies do the talking and consider the idea of bodyfulness as a play on mindfulness. So moving away from this hierarchical notion that our minds are on top in the head, but dropping into the body and being bodyful. What if our bodies could tell us a little story right now? And embracing the mystery of allowing our bodies to take a little journey that we might call a dance. So as you're seated here, invite a shift atop your seated platform, atop your spine. A tiny little dance. And if you feel moved, you can stand up, opening your gaze just a little bit to see your immediate local surroundings. Inviting a little shimmy, maybe a stretch. What does your body want to do right now? Let the body speak. Give it license and permission to play. This is the time to embrace not knowing as we enter December, our month of exploring mystery and the miracle of discovering and tuning up our kinesthetic sphere. Opening up your visual gaze a little more and noticing your neighbors are moving. Oh, look, people are up and moving. If you haven't stood up yet, join us. Or from a seated position, your choice. And lock in with a neighbor. So you're going to have some duets or trios or quartets, but lock in with a neighbor. And you're going to begin mirroring. This is a leaderless exploration, so it's a follow the mirror exercise where you don't really know who is leading. Wonderful. I see a lot of people exploring and people in a space of not knowing, right? We don't know, and this is the mystery. And practicing can prepare us to be ready, right? And broadening your gaze a little more, you might see someone across the way, and both halves of the church can start to face each other. So pivoting a little bit and having a more global sanctuary gaze. Now we're opening up our gaze and we see people across the way using the arms, the hands, the spine, the head, curving. I see sharp shapes or direct. I see feathery, floaty movements. I see carving. I see offering, hands that offer. Making eye contact, I see smiles. The greeting people using movement as the primary language, which we do this all the time, right, in life. We're always improvising and practicing this puts us in a space of preparing to be ready. So doing your biggest movement now together, biggest movement, making sure you've connected with everybody you wanted to move with, and holding in that shape and that tone for a moment. Picking a shape, looking around at our moving sculpture we just created together. Noting our interdependence and how collectively we did not know what we were going to make, and we made something. And coming to rest Taking a collective breath together, inhale and exhale. And giving thanks to the mystery and the miracle of discovery. Thank you.
Thank you, Alana. It was good to be in that part of the mystery. Our closing hymn number 1003 in your teal hymnal.
For our closing hymn, we have sung this a few times in this church year. Eliza will introduce it. We'll sing it through twice together in unison, and then twice in round. We'll start on that side of the sanctuary with the first group, and then this group will be invited in the next line.
Where
As we draw our service to a close, we extinguish the chalice, but carry with us its healing flame, the warmth of community, and the spark of hope into the week ahead. And now, please join in reciting our unison mission statement. We welcome all as we build a loving community to nurture each person's spiritual journey, serve human need, and protect the earth, our home. The closing words will be delivered by Chase Finney.
Thank you, Sarah. These closing words are by Reverend Abhi Prakash Janamanshi. The sacred is present and available to us wherever we look or are willing to find it. If we remain open and expectant, watching out of the corners of our eyes, keeping our ears cocked, putting away all preconceived ideas, our lives will emanate the sacred. Thanks.